Welcome to Makers Chat, a podcast community for creatives. I'm your host, Danielle Kaminsky, artist, maker, and educator from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Join me as we share our stories and explore the topics that are most important to creative entrepreneurs and makers. And don't forget that inside the Makers Chat community on Facebook, we are starting our new book club this week. On Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be starting our conversation about Built to Belong by Natalie Frank. Hope to see you there. Hey guys, welcome back. And today's episode, I'm super excited to be talking to Courtney Foster Donahue. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Danielle.
Of course. So for you guys who don't know who Courtney is, you've possibly heard me say her name multiple times in the past. I love studying under Courtney. She just knows online marketing like nobody else I've listened to. At least I understand it better hearing it from you than anyone else. So I'm excited to have you on here talking to our audience today about.
And I love your audience. I love handmade business owners. My mom was an artist and did a lot of like handmade kind of gifty things and art in general. But so it's an audience of people that I have like a special affinity and fondness for, if you will. So I'm really excited to be here and talking to your folks.
And you're a creative. I mean, you may not be like a handmade crafty
yeah.
person. You're a super creative person. So
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how before you got started in online courses.
Speaking of the arts and creativity and things like that, right? That's a good segue, Danielle. So yes, so really I'm a 4-time entrepreneur, but I'm really an actor by trade and really more of an entrepreneur by accident, literally and figuratively. So I was a professional working actor really from the age of like 7 to like 27. So good 20 years. I was not just doing community theater and things like that, but actually, getting paid to perform. And so acting, singing, dancing, I did commercials, TV, film, theater, majored in musical theater in college, did it, all the way through most of my 20s, and very abruptly put a big pause on that. I was on set rather for a TV show filming one day, and I was there was like a dance scene. It was set in like the 1950s. It was fabulous. My costume and hair were the best ever. But I kind of slipped and I kind of twisted my back and my upper shoulder. And anyways, it was one of those weird things where you're like, that's going to hurt tomorrow. That was weird. And I shook it off and kept going because the show must go on. And we were in the middle of like this 15-hour shoot in the middle of the night in Manhattan. And so it's just crazy times. And the next day, it hurt a lot. It got worse and worse and worse. Very long story short, I pinched a nerve in my neck. I couldn't really walk very well. Half of my body was kind of numb. I was bedridden for a couple of months, about 2 or 3 months. And I suddenly went from singing, acting, dancing, auditioning, performing, rehearsing, filming all day, every day, walking 10 miles or more around Manhattan, to sitting in bed, kind of losing my sense of purpose, having nothing to do, and just kind of going, now what, and I, spoiler alert, I'm much better now. I do still have some like nagging nerve issues, but I'm fine. Like I'm very blessed and it's good. But for quite a few months there, I'm sitting in bed, not knowing what to do, and started playing on Pinterest, which was a new thing then. I was an early adopter of that. And I was like we were living in like a 350 square foot apartment. And I thought, well, I can't get out of here. I can't go anywhere, but or walk around or do much of anything, but I can decorate this room. I can decorate this space. And so started, doing Pinterest, like home decor stuff, and turned that into a blog where I was documenting us decorating our shoebox apartment essentially, and how I was making that work and store, unique storage options and DIY home design. Did that for a couple of years, saw a lot of traffic really quickly. And just, a lot of it was pretty intuitive to me. Digital marketing, social media marketing, blogging, SEO. It was stuff that was fun to me, fun to figure out on my own. I didn't know about online courses back then. Otherwise I would have taken some. That would have sped up everything. But so I just sort of dabbled in DIY, figuring that out, grew my blog and readership pretty quickly, had other bloggers and business owners asking me, how are you doing what you're doing and doing it so well? And you just started this and have no experience. So aside from blogging and still being an actor, auditioning, performing, I was also doing some business consulting and social media consulting on the side. And a couple of businesses later and a few other crazy life things later, fast forward many years to today, I work with business owners. I do digital marketing, digital courses, digital, everything as it relates to online business, really. And it all kind of began because I started playing with blogging and Pinterest and all those things and SEO, and taught myself lots of stuff, tested it, figured it out, did a lot of consulting. And so after doing a lot of consulting and more one-on-one coaching for a few years, I shifted into taking all of that knowledge and packaging all of that up into a suite of online courses. So getting really meta, I nowadays help business owners to do kind of the same thing, to package up their skills, talents, expertise, maybe their special way of doing something that people are always asking about. Can I pick your brain about how you're able to, have this Etsy shop or do that or sell so many things here or there. And so I'm able to work with business owners, help them package up those skills and experiences into online courses using online marketing and all that good stuff. And so a few more businesses are in between the like blogging from bed to now. It's been a journey. I've had some local and service-based businesses. When my son was born, we kind of sold everything, closed everything, and just focused on the online business. And so this is the only business I'm currently running, thank goodness. The multi-business thing was fun, but not as sustainable with a little tiny baby. But yeah, so that's what we do nowadays is we teach people how to create online courses so they can, stop swapping hours for dollars, essentially.
Yes. Oh, and I love that. So I met you. Well, I didn't meet you. I found you, I guess, back in 17 or 18.
You virtually met me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Through the interwebs.
Yeah. Internet, and however you want to
There you
say
go. That's good.
But yeah, when you were doing Facebook marketing courses,
Yeah.
that was how I first, came into contact with you, was buying that course. And it was a game changer for me. And it's funny, you said that about, if you had known about online courses, you would have taken some. I feel that way sometimes about when I even just got started with what I do. Like yours was the first course online I paid for. It was my first experience with an online course. And it was just like, why have I been trying to figure this stuff out by myself for the past 5 years?
Yeah.
So I am a big fan of online courses these days.
Well, and that's really kind of the spirit of like the bigger thing we're talking about here is that, I have a degree in musical theater. I'm an actor by trade, working professionally in that for many years. I don't have a degree in marketing. I don't have a degree in digital anything, and I don't need to because I had significant experience using with the Facebook course example, using Facebook to grow my blog, to grow my local businesses, to grow my husband's local business. All of that together means I figured something out, and I packaged that up and turned it into a course. And that's how, Danielle and I are connected. But that really is what online courses are about. What is that repeatable thing that people keep asking you about, that you constantly repeat, that repeatable process? That thing can be that can be a course.
Yeah. And so tell us about what you do, what you have now, the pocket products, right? That's really the biggest thing we want to talk about today. Absolutely. And I feel like it's something that, gosh, just everybody in the world could use if they wanted to. So tell us about where it came from.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first started creating courses, before I made like one big, huge, course, I say course and digital product interchangeably for anyone hearing me say that and whatever, digital product, whatever. When I first got into digital product creation and was kind of leaving coaching and consulting behind, because that was very much like, I can only fit so much in my calendar. I only have so much, so many hours in a week. How do I scale this? I literally can't. Like I hit a ceiling. I'd raise prices as high as I felt comfortable going. And I really didn't want to go beyond a certain price point because I really wanted to be accessible to people of varying income levels. That was important to me. but I knew that I only had so many hours in a week, right? So it was, I can keep coaching and consulting forever, but I can only see so much growth over time. The growth is so much more limited. And so I created my first, mini course, what I now call a pocket product. And it was just kind of born out of, I was giving some tips in a Facebook business group one day about SEO because someone said, "How do I get on the first page of Google?" And I, having blogged and had my local businesses, I was like, "Well, I know how." And I was audacious enough to be like, "Just do this, this, and this." Or was I audacious? Because what was really cool was that person went and did those. I gave her like 5 different things that she could do that very day. I was like, it's not going to keep you there, but it can get you there. And how you stay there is, here are all the other things you need to do to stay on the first page for your keywords. And she actually took those. I just thought I was throwing advice, on deaf ears. And she latched onto that and implemented that. And she was on the first page of Google for her particular keywords within a week. And she came back into that business group and was like, "Holy cow, this is, listen to Courtney." And so that whole group of people, and it wasn't my group, it was someone else's, but they all it was like all the heads whipped around to me and said, "Okay, what did you tell her? What did she do? What else can we do?" And I thought, okay, well, there isn't like a full blown big course I'm going to create for this because it's just not that big of a complicated thing. But I could spend an hour and go into more detail here and really walk through all of this. And so I made this little what I call a pocket product, just a little micro course that gives a quick win to someone in my target audience. It was $47. It was called SEO in a weekend, and it literally was that. You could get through it and implement it in about a weekend and probably see yourself on the first page for your keywords in Google, within about a week. And that was actually what most people were seeing. And it's, it's pretty simple, but people don't know what they don't know. So if you can share that stuff that you've learned and figured out, that's really the beginning of that. So that was the first one. I had some others. I had one about video marketing. I had one about, Facebook marketing as well. It's called FB Jumpstart. So it's like a little mini thing about that. But that's, that's kind of how it began. And then during the pandemic, during the beginning of that, we're still here, but in around April 2020, I had some of my students in one of my groups, kind of panicking essentially and saying, consumer spending habits are changing, or we think they are. And what can we do to just give people something? How can we get a little cash injection, quickly? How can we, just sell something that people, it's like an easy and obvious yes, as opposed to like, here's my big signature $2,000, $1,000 program. And I had said at the time, well, you could do just like a micro course and just sell it at a low price. And it becomes like a gateway offer to your other offers. And another kind of, just like with the Facebook business group and the SEO course, I just kind of threw out some tips and things, and my students latched onto those and kind of started making their own. And I thought there's something here. Again, something that's easy and obvious to me isn't to everyone else because they're too close to it and they don't know what I know and have the experience I have. So I packaged up that whole process into a workshop called Pocket Products. And inside Pocket Products, I teach you how to create a pocket product, again, getting very meta. And so what a pocket product is a low priced, so $50 or less, digital product, meaning, a micro course, an ebook, some PDFs, digital files of some sort, not something you deliver live, not something where you offer support or coaching or a private group. We don't have groups for pocket products. We don't have any kind of, you're not exchanging any of your time. So low price, less than $50, digital product that gives a quick win to someone in your audience. It doesn't maybe solve everything. It doesn't help them see a complete transformation. That's what maybe some of your other services or products, courses, whatever else you've got in your business, that's what it can help them do. But your pocket product is something that gives them a quick win. If you can give someone in your audience a quick win, you've earned trust. You went from just someone on the internet to, Danielle, who helped me do blank. whoever who helped me do this thing.
Yeah.
Wow, she helped me. I mean, that just, I consumed that in a weekend, and now I can do this. And I didn't even think that was possible. And I'm ready for more. And so it's a great way. Essentially, a pocket product can replace typical, list building, lead generation efforts. If you might normally do a lead magnet, a free PDF, an opt-in freebie, whatever you want to call them, in exchange for an email address to grow your email list, which is always important as 21st century business owners, right?
Absolutely.
Instead, you can sell a low priced offer. That's an easy and obvious yes. It's priced almost like an impulse buy. And so you've, liquidated any kind of ad spend or any kind of effort, any kind of money you might have spent to get that lead. And now they're on your list, and you've earned some trust with them because you've helped them have a quick win. So it's it's a great way to replace that typical lead gen stuff that's, you're getting freebie finders with, or as I like to call them. And, with people who buy your pocket product, you're getting a solution seeker. That's a very different type of lead, a different type of customer.
Yes.
So that's, you're building a better quality list, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. It was funny because you said that about like getting meta and talk and like in the pocket products course, you talk about doing pocket products. I kind of felt the same way because I have pocket products. I have the course and I took it, and I've created two, and the one that has been everyone's favorite was where I basically was like, well, how do I take what Courtney did for online course creators and do that for handmade business owners? And it was this called Stash to Cash, and it was taking what you already have on hand and turning it into money, like in a 10-day workshop. But one of the big things I wanted to talk about as far as what you teach in pocket products, and yes, you're providing the quick win, you're doing all these things, but even for someone who maybe isn't looking to get into online courses, like I did want to add that to my business. A lot of handmade business owners aren't necessarily looking for that. Yeah. But in my experience, pocket products is brilliant for helping people who want to learn how to package tutorials or craft products that come with video elements, because of all that kind of stuff that you teach in there. Do you want to speak to that a little bit about how you think that could fit the model? Because I feel like that's how it could really fit for our audience here.
So I always tell people, because of course we get dozens of emails a day saying, I'm interested in pocket products, but is it right for me? I think I want to create one. I like the idea, but is it really right for me? So of course, it's obviously right for coaches who have courses, memberships, masterminds, things like that, obviously. Coaches who do, coaching programs, one-on-one coaching services, consultants who provide some kind of service providers who obviously provide a service. So that's an easy yes. But it's also good for people who sell physical products if there is what I call like a knowledge gap. So if there is some knowledge gap around a physical product, then you could have a pocket product that would fill that knowledge gap, provide some education that would therefore make the value of your physical product that much greater. So if you sell yarn and knitting supplies, cool. I mean, people will go buy that. But what if they're really interested in that? They've gotten really excited about that. They've romanticized it in their head and they go to buy and they're like, but I still don't know how to do this. And I don't want to fall down the YouTube or Google rabbit hole and find a bunch of random tutorials that might not actually be what I need. So that same company that sells the, knitting supplies and yarn and whatever can provide a pocket product in this case, something, a series of tutorials that, you could have one that teaches the basics of knitting. You could have one that teaches how to create specific types of things. Maybe one is about winter wear, another's about, little toys and things like that. So there's just so many ways in which a physical products based business, craft supplies, for example, just one of many examples, could really increase the value of their business because you're adding assets to it, these educational assets that increase the lifetime value of a customer. Before they might have spent $50, going on a yarn buying spree. And what if they also spent another $30 getting a series of tutorials? Suddenly a $50 transaction turns into an $80 transaction. What if the majority of your transactions went up, 10, 20, $30? And also statistically, a repeat customer spends 33% more than a new customer. So maybe they come for, they get, I'm going to keep my yarn example going because that's the only one in my head right now. They come buy a few skeins of yarn and then they come back a few weeks later and they're like, yeah, I know how to do blank and blank, but I'd love to learn how to do this. Can I get some patterns? Can I get some tutorials? Then they come back and get that. And so again, we're increasing the lifetime value of a customer. When businesses can increase the lifetime value of a customer and give people a reason to become a repeat customer, that those businesses are always more profitable, more sustainable, which is really important, as we've all learned in 2020 and in 2021. Sustainability is right. It should be, even more important than profitability, which I think is the one people have always focused on the most. But all of those things give you that, right? And of course, you're getting them on your email list. So you could even have a front end offer of buy my tutorial on how to do XYZ, and then the upsell is the physical product that you sell. That's absolutely a way that could work, just as one of many examples. But think about, is there a knowledge gap around the thing that you sell? If they knew X, Y, and Z, or how to do something, would they then perceive the value of the thing you're selling to be that much higher? Then you can have a pocket product. Absolutely.
Yeah. One that I just kind of keep waiting for, and it's not one that I'm interested in doing myself. So maybe someone will take this idea and run with it. But I do jewelry as well, and there's a lot of jewelry designers out there, and I just am like, someone needs to package up like a jewelry repair online course, because people who buy jewelry buy lots of jewelry. So like, you're going to break jewelry. I mean, we're all going to break our jewelry at some point. So teach people how to fix it. And that's a great thing that a handmade business could do.
Yeah. And another great use for a pocket product for a handmade business owner is to flip from B2C and to B2B. And what I mean by that is, like, obviously if you're selling handmade products of any kind, whether it is yarn, like a craft supply, or if it's, a piece of jewelry that you made, or a painting, well, any of those things, that's B2C, business to consumer. You're selling that directly to a consumer. But you could also have a branch of your business that, and doesn't have to be this significant, huge, complicated thing, but you could have a series of trainings, tutorials, pocket products, right, that you sell for fellow business owners who do what you do. So a fine art photographer could sell fine art photography, prints and things like that to consumers. Great. But they can over here also teach fellow fine art photographers how to get better at their photography skills, grow their business, do the thing that they're doing. Someone who, that's, the applications are work for any type of handmade business, because when you have a handmade business that is successful and visible in any capacity, really, you just make a few sales and everyone, and we all, if you are a handmade business owner, I'm sure that you get people occasionally, like friends and family, saying, oh yeah, go talk to Danielle, she's so good at such and such. And then Danielle gets these, I'm trying to do, start an Etsy shop, and can I pick your brain? Well, Danielle could say yes, but Danielle's busy. So she could say, you know what? I have something better for you. If you really want to do this handmade business thing, check out my mini course. It's just X number of dollars, and go over here, and here's the link. Yay. And now Danielle doesn't have to spend all of her life having her brain picked for free. She can monetize that. And that's, that's how I began coaching in the first place. Was I was blogging over here and had other bloggers, not my readers, right, of B2C, right, but fellow bloggers, B2B, saying, how are you growing so quickly? How are you doing this? Well, let me show you. And so I kind of had two things happening simultaneously with just one business, one, forward-facing thing. So that's another great opportunity for any handmade business owner of any kind. You can teach your fellow people who do what you do how to do it better, like the way that you're able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And that was, honestly, that was when I decided to first start doing courses. That was exactly what it came from, was from hearing you talk about this kind of thing, and running a store with all these vendors that I'm trying to help. I was saying the same things over and over again. I was having the exact same coffee date over and over again. And so it was like, it makes sense to just put this in one recorded place. And And then
and if you're not there, like it's so flattering in the beginning. And then after the 10th one, the 10th coffee date or virtual coffee date, you're like, oh my God.
Yes.
If someone uses the phrase, can I pick your brain again this week? I'm going to scream. And no one wants to just give for free. There's maybe close friends, family, sure. But at some point, do something with it. Those are skills you developed. Those are things you figured out that you didn't know how to do before. Monetize it, help people in a bigger, better way anyway by doing that.
Right. And it gives you the ability, I will say this, so to the natural helpers out there, because we talk Enneagram a lot on the podcast, and I'm a type 3, but I have a very solid type 2 wing. So I'm a big helper and I want to help everybody. And saying no is hard for me if I have the ability to help. However, anytime you reach that point where you've just reached your capacity for helping other people, then it gets frustrating. And doing this actually lets me help more people while staying more pleasant and actually still being able to take care of myself and my needs, because there is some income coming from it now.
I want that to be like my 2022 goal. I will stay more pleasant.
Yes, I will stay more pleasant. I will stay more pleasant.
And it's also, it's way more concise, because if you reach out for a little, can I pick your brain thing, and I throw a few things at you, I'm probably going to forget some important things that I wish I would have told you, but I don't have time or energy or the memory always to just remember it. But if I have a little training on it, you're going to get all of it. It's going to be more concise and more thorough. And I don't have to be there holding your hand in person or on Zoom to tell you what to do, essentially.
Right. And that pause button is gold, right? You hit pause so that you can go do the thing, and then you come back and it's like, okay, now I can start again. And you don't have to keep calling that person to ask questions over and over again, because you've got access just right there on your screen.
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, before we wrap up, I always do rapid fire questions, but then I've been told that that's not a good thing to call them, because they're not all easy to rapidly answer. So
I will sort of quickly answer some questions.
Yeah. Okay. So some are, though. So like books or movies?
Say it again.
Books or movies?
TV shows. Books. I would normally say books, but I literally read sales pages all day long. So my ability and desire to read more has waned, unfortunately. And I can't sit through a movie ever. I have to go do something. Or if I'm like at a movie theater, I always have to pee in the middle of the movie. So what was the point? TV shows, though, I could like binge watch 4 hours of one TV show, but I can't sit through a 2-hour movie. So riddle me that. I don't know, but
I know, right?
So, I think TV shows. I love good television.
That's funny.
Yes.
If you could talk to one person from history, who would it be?
My great Cherokee grandmother. I know that's not an exciting answer, but I'd just love to know the truth about some family mysteries that we don't know about. And I'd love to know her perspective, because obviously I'm a very white person, but I'm also very Cherokee. I just don't look it. And and that's a part of my family history that's more mysterious, but also more interesting to me. So I'd love to meet her. I'd love to sit down and just ask her a million questions. Absolutely.
That's a good answer. That's not unexciting. That's a good answer. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, there's some great, like, famous people that whatever, but I think that's, as I'm getting older, I'm caring less about that kind of thing and more about like, how did I even get here? Where did I come from? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it totally.
And being a mother now too, I think that's a big part of it. It's like I'm so much more interested in that.
Yeah. If there was if you were going to go back in time to live in any other era in history, what time period would it be? And then where in the world would you want to experience that era?
Oh, goodness.
I know it's a big question.
2019. Let me explain. I don't have to explain that year too much. I guess as a woman, I don't want to go back any further than I have to, for obvious reasons, but I love the style and the fashion of the 30s and the 50s and 60s. Like, oh my gosh, I literally watch Mad Men just to like look at it sometimes. Like I rewatch that a lot. Love that series. But 2019 would be good, because we would not be living in this pandemic world, I'm gonna stick with that. And I like where I am right here. So we'll do that.
That's awesome. That's
Oh
awesome.
boy.
That's a great
Oh
answer.
boy.
And then finally, are you a beach girl or a mountains girl?
Oh, I love both. Beach. And I'm from the Gulf Coast area too. And my parents are from the mountains of East Tennessee. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, I'm happiest by sea for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Courtney, tell everybody where they can find you. You guys, we're gonna have everything linked up in the show notes too, so that you can check out Pocket Products if that sounds like something that's right for you, and find all of Courtney's links. But tell us where we can find you and interact with you.
Yeah. Well, my website is my name, CourtneyFosterDonahue.com, no hyphens in the URL. So that's pretty easy. But if you want to interact with me, and in fact, if you listen to this, please DM me and tell me you heard this. And I don't know if something resonated, please let me know about that too. But you can find me over on Instagram. My handle is, I just changed it, Danielle. I'm making everything complicated. It is Courtney.and.company. So Courtney and Company with little dots separating them. But yes, please head over there, DM me. I have lots of goodies there. I do lots of teaching over there. I give out free content prompts like once a week. So that's fun. And they're applicable to handmade business owners too. So we have some fun on the gram. Come say hi. Yes.
Definitely. You guys, you'll love it. If you're not already following Courtney, you definitely want to do that. And yeah, Pocket Products is great. And it's got this very specific application. Obviously, that's the point, right? Is to have a very concise thing that you're teaching that you can take from it. But there's also just a lot of really good information in there for people who maybe aren't already doing a lot of digital marketing, where you're given just some really, really powerful stuff that can be applied not only to a pocket product, but just to any product in your business.
Yeah, if you're online, which everyone who's listening to this is, there is plenty of stuff to glean, even if you're not immediately interested in maybe creating a pocket product. There's so much goodness in there.
Yeah, it's it's incredibly valuable. It's worth far more than you're charging for it, but I mean, that's okay. I'm not telling you.
Yeah, no, and it'll stay right where it is, but there you go.
And I tell a lot of people that I work with around here too. I'm like, there's a handful of people in the world that I know, if I give them my money, I'm going to make money. And Courtney's one of them. I have never bought a product from you that I have not just felt like I have gotten so much value out of it.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Of course. So thank you for being here with us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah. If you have knowledge and skills that you're ready to share, and you're ready to take the value that's just sitting in your brain and turn it into income for you inside your handmade business, I really encourage you to check out Pocket Products from Courtney Foster Donahue. In today's show notes, you'll find my link to Pocket Products, my affiliate code, so that you can check that out and see if it's right for you. She really makes it simple and breaks it down so that you can create the small online course or tutorial to take your knowledge and your skills and sell those to people so that you can make some income while you're at it. So again, you'll find that link in the show notes. It's called Pocket Products, and see if it's right for you. I can't wait to see what you create. That's all for today's episode. Thank you for joining us. Remember to check out the Makers Chat community so that you can dive deeper into the conversation. You'll find the link to join in our show notes. Have a beautiful week, and we will chat again soon.